Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
You know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there, waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is Morbid.
It's an unexpected two-parter.
And you know what that means? It's Alaina's episode because she's always got the unexpected two-parters.
I can't help it with the unexpected two-parters. This one was like the most unexpected because
Really?
I picked this case. I had a few cases on the docket and I just like couldn't get myself like super into the research for all of them.
Yeah.
I think I was doing it at the wrong times. I'm not great at researching at night. So
Yeah.
I think that was mainly the problem. But all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I think I want to cover Disappearance. I'm looking for kind of an older one. I started at newer ones, then I was kind of going older and older and older.
Yeah.
And I ended up in the early 1900s.
Ooh.
And I hit this one, and I was like, you know what? I think, okay, cool. This will be an episode. Mm-hmm. I can dive into it. It'll be great. So I started diving into it.
This will be one episode.
One episode.
It'll be so great.
I dove in, and I was like, oh. At first, because truly at first I was like, I don't even know if this maybe this won't even have enough information
For like a whole episode.
to be like a really whole episode. So I was kind of worried at first, but man,
It's so funny. I do feel like that happens a lot to me too with like an unexpected two-parter. I'll start the research and be like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna make it to one part. Like,
and then
I'm
it
gonna
ends
have
up
to-
being like, I can't.
Yeah.
in one part.
It's so funny how
Like
that
I
happens.
literally can't.
That happened to me with Wonderland.
Yeah. And it just, this one has the theories that come out after this one, the information that comes out after. It's just too much to just cram at the end of the episode. I feel like that would be insane.
Yeah.
So I think we got to do part 2 as like theories and shit that came out.
I always like to do that too, because then you do kind of like get the full case in part one, and then like the theories are
And then
fun.
it's all the craziness.
Yeah.
So this is the disappearance of Dorothy Arnold.
Okay. Oh, that sounds familiar.
It might be. It was not familiar for
No?
me. Yeah, when I read it, I did not know this
The
case.
name for me sounds familiar.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, Dorothy Arnold left her home on December 12th, 1910. She was a 25-year-old socialite from a wealthy family in New York City. Before leaving, she told her mother, Mary, that she was heading out to Fifth Avenue to find an evening gown. What?
I was just looking at this case.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I literally almost did this case.
Shut up. That never happens.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
That literally never happens.
As soon as you said that name, and I'm not usually like a 1910 kind of gal, as we all know, that is so funny.
That's so
Because
funny.
I read like that little snippet.
Just that like first part.
And I wrote it down and was like, and like I know like a couple details just from kind of like, I read like a little bit, but I'm actually so excited now that you did this one.
I love it. Well, she was heading out to Fifth Avenue to buy an evening dress. She was going to be going to an upcoming event. That event in question was her sister Marjorie's debutante ball, which was happening on the 17th. This is how fancy and rich this family was.
I love it.
It was the Gilmores.
Yes.
Debutante balls and everything.
Hell yeah.
Now, her mother had said she would join her. She was like, oh, I'll come with you. But reports were that Mary, the mother, was often sick. She was like ailing a lot. And she didn't leave the home very often. So Dorothy answered her mother, according to Mary's later report, no, mother, don't bother. You don't feel just right. And it's no use to going to the trouble.
Yeah.
And then she told her, if I find a dress, I'll give you a call.
Cool.
So makes sense. Like basically, nah, don't worry about it. You feel like shit again. I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
So she left. She left around noon. First, she stopped at Park and Tilford on 5th Avenue. And it's apparently 5th Avenue and 59th Street. I'm not great at like New York directions because remember, New York makes sense. But Boston is just like somebody going onto the street. Like that's how the street numbers are and like how it all goes.
There's like one like little section of Boston where the street is alphabetical, and that's the only semblance of organization that we have.
That isn't even because it's just the way that New York is set up. It's like the rows, so it makes sense like blocks. Numerical. We have nothing like that. No. It's just chaos. We just thrive in chaos. We thrive in being like, I wonder where that street could be. It's just, you go 3 blocks down and it's like you're going to the left, to the right, up, down, over.
I fucking love Boston.
I do too. But you know what? Park and Tilford is on 5th Avenue and 59th Street, somewhere about there.
Cool.
Witnesses said she purchased a half-pound box of chocolates there.
Get it, girl.
Which I'm for.
Can I have some?
From there, she headed to Brentano's bookstore, somewhere between 1:30 and 2 p.m. While she was there, she bought a book. That book was Engaged Girl Sketches by Emily Calvin Blake. Apparently, it's like a little comedy book.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, she's feeling it. She's feeling the giggles
She's
today.
also just, like, having herself a day.
She often had herself a day, because we'll get into it, but, like, she was a lady who lunched. Yeah. So she was having herself a day.
Motherfucking goals.
Yeah, it's everybody's goal, you know? Now, when she left the bookstore, she bumped into her friend Gladys King outside of it. They stood outside and they chatted for like a good while outside of the store. And when Dorothy was leaving, she said, I'm going to walk through Central Park on my way out. She was never seen again. Oof. Now, later, Gladys reported that absolutely nothing seemed out of the ordinary about Dorothy and that she was happy, normal, totally herself that day. All the clerks were later talked to at all the different places she went. They all said nothing seemed out of place or amiss or anything like that.
Totally normal.
She did apparently have some kind of like lunch date with some of her friends, and they all said she was totally normal. Nothing was weird. So she just disappears in the middle of the day.
Weird.
Now dinner time comes around, and Dorothy had not returned home. Her family panicked, I guess you could say, but like not in the way I think I would panic in a similar situation. But then again, I am not like a well-to-do family from the 1910
This is true.
era. So they were perplexed because she never missed a meal. And, you know, like she never missed a meal with them.
Sure.
Like meals were like a big event then.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you just came home and were like, I'll just grab a burger.
Right.
But she also hadn't contacted them to say she would be late. And that was weird for her because they were like, she also said, I'll call you if I find a dress.
Right.
That never happened. But they just sat down and had dinner anyways.
All right.
So apparently they were confused, but they were hungry, so they ate. Now,
same.
When she still hadn't shown up, they started calling her friends, which makes sense.
Yes.
Asking if they had seen her.
After they were done with that dinner.
But then none of her friends had seen her. None of the ones that they talked to. It was really only Gladys. And I think the ones that she had lunch with, they just didn't get in touch with. Or they got in touch with and they were like, we saw her at lunch, but that's it.
Right.
Like,
they
haven't heard anything else since then. But her parents, Mary and Francis, every time they talked to these friends and every time they heard either I saw her early in the day or I haven't seen her at all today, they would implore them to stay quiet and to not tell anyone.
Oh.
Like, what? So they would literally call and be like, hello, Miriam, did you see... I made that
old-timey name. That was great.
Right.
Good job.
Hello, Miriam. Have you seen Dorothy, today? Oh, I saw her at lunch. Have you seen her since then? No, I haven't heard anything about her. Okay, can you not tell anybody that?
The only thing that I can say that, like it's weird no matter which way you cut it. Like, that's a weird thing to do.
Yes.
But I feel like because they were like a socialite family, they probably just didn't want any talk stirring.
Oh, no,
up
that's
about them.
that's 100% what this is. But it's strange as fuck.
Yeah, it is
I don't give a
weird.
shit what standing your family is in. Your kid is missing.
Right.
People should know about it.
Right.
How are you going to find her if people don't know that she's missing?
So when did they
No one's
contact
looking
the
for her.
police?
So, don't worry. That comes way later.
Oh, okay.
Now,
You were like, we're nowhere
I was
near
like,
that.
we're nowhere near the police. Her friends at this point are worried. They're feeling helpless because now they know this, but they're not allowed to even talk about it. Of course, they're talking to each other about it.
Yeah, duh.
They're not going to listen to this crazy, notion that they should just, keep this to themselves that their friend is missing.
Right.
So around midnight, one of her friends, Elsie Henry, calls back. And she says, hey, have you heard anything about Dorothy? We're freaking out here. And Mary answered the phone, the mother. And she answers and she said she felt great relief. She says, yes, she's returned home. And Elsie was like, oh my God, that's fucking great. Can I
Coulda
talk to her
called
really
us.
quick? I just want to tell her, I'm so happy she's home. And Mary says, no, I'm sorry. She's sleeping. She came home with a headache.
Uh-huh.
Dorothy had not returned home.
Yeah.
This was a lie, and it was never explained.
What? Do you think that this was just them not, even further not wanting people to talk about this? So they were like, no, she came home, shut up.
Even so, I know that's, the reality.
Right.
That's psychotic behavior.
Oh, yeah, 100.
this
Not
is
saying it's not.
A family pretending their missing child has returned to avoid scandal? Yeah. What the actual fuck? That is a... What?
Yeah.
You literally just told her friend she's home.
Yeah.
And not only that, you just made up a fucking story about her having a headache and sleeping.
It's very bizarre.
Meanwhile, that's the other thing. I'm like, you don't know if she's in a fucking ditch somewhere. You don't know if she's being held captive and they're going to demand ransom. You don't know any of this. You don't know if she's tripped and fallen into the river and drowned. You know nothing, and you're sitting here making shit up to save your fucking family name.
Right.
From what?
It's so weird, but
you're going to be scandalized that your kid is missing? How is that? That's bizarre to me.
Yeah, because that's, not scandalous.
You don't know where she is. She's missing.
Right.
She could have been abducted.
Right.
Why are we not telling the police and getting to me, this makes no sense.
Well, and the whole thing is...
You would have the whole fucking city looking for her.
Well, that's
What the
exactly
fuck?
it. Why would you not just gather her friends to look for her?
Well, that's the other thing. It's they're not using any kind of... And let me tell you, this entire thing gets weirder and weirder and weirder.
Really?
Because there's a lot of things that the family does that you're like, what exactly was your motivation behind that?
Oh, keep going.
Because it's the other thing is, this is a well-known family, we're talking about, they wanted to avoid scandal and all that shit. But people know Dorothy. She's
so
in the social,
where is she?
Pages and all that. If they said she's missing, the entire fucking city would be looking for
And
her.
you probably
You'd
would
have
have found
millions
her.
of eyes on her. And it's why wouldn't you want that to happen immediately?
I don't know.
That just, to me, I know shit was different then, but I'm as a parent, I don't understand how your first instinct isn't to find your kid.
Right.
25 years old or not, she's still living in your house. That's your kid.
And do you think that it was it wasn't their instinct to find her?
I don't know. I think that what is told mostly is it seems like it was to avoid scandal or something, but
Right.
it's I don't know, man.
Why
That's
not just look
wild
for
to
her?
me. But again, Dorothy had not returned home. They were lying about that, and they never explained why.
I love planning ahead, but Mother's Day stresses me the bleep out. I never know what to get the mamas in my life, and I have like 48 moms, so I have a lot of people to buy for. And you know what I decided this year? You get a skylight frame, you get a skylight frame, and you get a skylight frame, because really, it's like the best gift for everybody. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You upload super freaking cute pictures to it, and then everybody can upload pictures to it, and then the mom in your life is just happy all the time looking at pictures of her family. It's also a really great way for families who can't always be together to actually feel close to one another, and anyone in the family can send photos to the frame. It is such a great way to stay in touch. It also sets up super easily in under 60 seconds, and even the least tech-savvy person can use it. I hate to say this, but my grandma is not very tech savvy and she operates hers just fine. So if, everybody could do it. It also just looks like a real photo frame, and it really adds a beautiful touch to your home. It's quite elegant, if I do say so myself. It has a gorgeous 10-inch touch screen that you can use to swipe through your photos with your finger. And you can also even tap on it to thank the person who sent you a photo. Or if you're like Alaina's mother-in-law, you can thank me in person for sending great photos, because she always thanks me and it makes me feel loved. Also, it has a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you do not love your skylight, they will offer you a full refund. You can preload it with your favorite photos for a special Mother's Day gift and surprise your mama or mama figure with photos that they didn't even know you had. And you can tap the heart button and it will let the sender know how much you love the photo, so it's like super cute and interactive as well. I absolutely love the Skylight Frame. I think it is such a good gift to give people, because it's like one of those gifts that you can give everybody, but it becomes a different gift for each person based on the photos that they get. I absolutely love it. Now, as a special holiday offer, you can get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com and enter code MATCP. That's right. To get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame, just go to skylightframe.com and enter code MATCP. That is SKYLIGHTFRAME.com and use code MATCP. Love you.
So from there, why don't we go to the beginning? Now that we've set it up.
Okay.
We know where we are now.
Okay.
That she's missing, that her parents lie about it. So let's start from the beginning. Dorothy Harriet Camille Arnold was born on July 1st, 1886 in New York City. Her parents, Mary and Frances Arnold, were incredibly wealthy, as we discussed. Frances Arnold owned F.R. Arnold and Company, which was an importer of like really fine cologne and perfume.
Ooh, fancy.
So very fancy. They were socialites and super well known. Frances had descendants that came over on the Mayflower.
Oh, and that's apparently top tier in that social circle.
Exactly, because you know what? I'm going to bring it right back to Gilmore Girls again. And I'm pretty sure when Logan's family like shits all over Rory and him being together, she's like, my family came over on the Mayflower.
She literally, as like
that?
a defense.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding?
Like anybody gives an actual shit Rory.
Yeah. But apparently people do. They give a lot of shit.
That's like not a great claim either.
I know, it's like ooh,
my family stole this land.
Hell yeah.
They were the first.
Eek.
Like, ooh, rough.
Well, they had them. And the family itself was listed on the New York Social Register. Now, I had to look at this because I have heard that term, the Social Register, before.
What is it?
I've never looked deeply into it until now.
What the fuck? Because it's a thing still. Do you
it's a thing still.
You bring it to a place of Gilmore Girls. Here I go bringing it to a place of Bravo. Do you remember Jill Zarin and Ramona fighting, and Ramona telling Jill Zarin that she was like taking something to the Social Register? Like, according to the Social Register, it was like taboo or something.
Because you can get kicked off of the Social Register for just marrying the wrong person. Or getting engaged to the wrong person.
Yeah, this had to do with like charitable work.
Oh, yeah, that can fuck you up too.
It can, because Jill Zarin was like, you don't even know where the Social Register is. And Ramona was like, yes, I do. And Jill's like, where is it? And Ramona was like, I don't need to tell you, Jill. So she clearly didn't know where it was.
I'm not going to tell you where it is.
And Jill knew.
Well, I'm going to tell you about the Social Register because, man, I'm glad I looked into it. Now, there's an official Social Register Association. And this website says that the origin of this register basically started back in the 19th century with visitor lists. And these lists were names and contact information for all the rich and super fancy families, so they could all just contact each other and like hang out and
Just be rich.
together. Now, in 1886, a guy named Lewis Keller was like, wait a second, I should make this even more secretive and more choosy and more strange, and I should take the most important and most fancy of these people and make even smaller lists to make it even more exclusive.
Like, let me just be a real big dick here.
Just make sure you know. Now, there was one for a handful of cities, like one for each city, and then they made a big central one that had like real high rollers on it. And it was like Rockefellers, like all that shit.
Yep.
Now, these families were the families that would have kicked you off a lifeboat on the Titanic, like the Cal Hockleys of the world, like the Hockley family.
You fucking love Cal Hockley. You love Cal Hockley.
Honestly, I do.
You do.
Unfortunately, but like that's a story for another day. No, that's something to look into with a therapist, I think.
It truly is.
But the website is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. In fact, I'm going to bring it up on the computer screen really quick because I would like Ash to see the homepage of this. So hold on one second.
Because it's active.
It's active.
Okay, she pulled it up.
Just wait for this. Wait for this little slideshow to continue.
I love the color blocking right there.
We got
debutantes.
Debutantes. We have some horseback riding. We have
model pick.
There was some yachts. We have headshots. There's some cotillions happening.
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, there it is. There's the golf. There's the golf
and the tennis, of course.
And the tennis. Yeah,
that girl is like absolutely
we have
gorge.
2 people on a safari where giraffes are just running in front of them.
Cool.
Yeah. So
this is so douchey. I'm just gonna say it.
It's a wildly douchey looking website.
Can you put it down now?
It's outrageous. I was gonna say it closer.
That's the douchiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The website writes, and I quote,
"Oh God,
understated civility, conviviality, prominence, and stability is who we are."
Okay, ready? Hold on. I think it's 5 words. Get the fuck over yourself.
There you go. It's basically a book of old money socialites. Ugh, these are all descendants, normally from wealth back through generations. Everything in the social register is about club affiliations, society memberships, alma maters, and other, like, you know, basically status notations.
Like who plays the best tennis game.
Exactly. It used to be the only way to be invited to these, you know, balls and formals and gatherings and any social event was to be on this social register.
Right.
Now, all events were born off of that list of families, and if you weren't on it, then you were left out, and you might as well just go get a job, you fucking loser.
Like, what?
Who are you? Like, your money isn't good here. Your zillions aren't good here. So how do you get on this list? I bet you're wondering.
I am, truly.
Yeah, who wants to get on this list?
I don't want to get on it, but I want to know what the meaning is.
You have to apply, but you have to be, like, invited by a member of the advisory committee.
Okay.
You have to then provide a shit ton of letters from families that are already on the social register, and they all have to say that you are in fact rich as fuck and that your granddaddy was also rich as fuck. This advisory committee, which sounds like Lumen Company on Severance, and all my Severance heads out there, also will look deeply into your history, which includes previous marriages, which you will be judged for.
Like if you're divorced, no.
Yeah, if you're divorced, any kind of marriages that they're like, that guy was kind of a heathen, they're like, you can't come on anymore.
You're like, he was only a millionaire. He was supposed to be a billionaire.
Exactly. Oh, and if you make it on there, by the way, you must report any engagement or marriage to them.
What?
I also looked at the list of clubs and societies listed in the social register, and it is a fucking trip. Now, I had no idea this many insane clubs existed, but it's a very fun ride through them.
Give me all the tea.
I found a legitimate Emily Gilmore-style society in Massachusetts.
Stop it.
There are also the same kinds of this particular one in Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. And I also had no idea that the Daughters of the American Revolution was actually a real thing. That's a real thing. I thought that was an Emily Gilmore thing.
You're shitting my dick.
Oh, yeah. I wish I was. It's a real thing. Here I am learning all kinds of bougie new shit. Now, so this one I was particularly interested in, though. Are you ready for the name of this?
No, I'm not ready for any of this.
I'm sorry.
It's so funny because, like, I love this shit, but I find it
so intense.
so, like...
Well, it's just funny. It's just fun.
Yeah.
This is called the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Dames?
The Colonial Dames of America.
What does that even mean?
Now, they're a bunch of ladies. They're a bunch of dames. Colonial ones, in fact.
Like, you're not colonial anymore, though.
But they basically do what the Emily Gilmores of the world do.
Eat lunch and talk shit.
Like the Daughters of the American Revolution in Gilmore Girls. I realize I'm making a lot of references to Gilmore Girls, but you know me.
I mean,
by
it's
now.
old money. So.
And it literally is the same thing.
Yes.
I think that was based on this. Now, they own and operate. So basically, they're all about, like, making everybody feel proud of their heritage and America and all that. And, like, you know, like our forefathers and all that shit. Now, they own and operate 3 historic homes in Massachusetts.
Oh,
The
okay.
Prescott House in Boston, the Quincy Homestead in Quincy, and the Martin House Farm in Swansea.
Are these, like, charitable things?
I guess they just, like, own and operate them. You can come visit. You can see all the old shit in there. They also maintain it. They, like, display this very prominently, so I feel like it's worth mentioning. They maintain a super old costume collection.
That sounds pretty fucking rad.
And they also do a lot of good work with veterans and veterans associations in the area, so I gotta
Awesome.
give it to them there.
Yeah.
They also helped build that big structure that's over Plymouth Rock to protect it.
Oh, yeah.
So they do shit. But it's a wild name for a society, my dude.
Well, and it's also just so exclusive that it's like, why can't I just help you? Like,
it's all, you know, very Gilmore. It's all very Great Gatsby.
I just don't like the exclusivity of it all.
It's funny. I implore you again to look at the official social register website. I implore you, because it's a real situation.
Like, we're all just stardust, guys.
We are. None of this matters.
It does not matter
None of it matters.
all.
So anyways, that's all just to say that Dorothy Arnold's family was very well off.
Because it goes, so they were on this list.
They were on the social register.
Got it.
They're very old money. They're very well known, very respected in New York society at the time. They were among the elite and could hang out with and keep up with the likes of, like, the Rockefellers.
Oh, cool.
Now, her uncle, Rufus W. Peckham, was actually Rufus.
Totally Rufus.
Spread it around like wildfire. Rufalicious. It's not a gum. Oh, never been kissed. Great.
So great.
But Rufus W. Peckham was actually a previous U.S. Supreme Court justice. So that's a pretty big name down here.
Pretty Rufalicious job.
Pretty Rufus. She had, that sounds like we're like, pretty Rufus. She had 3 siblings, and she was the second oldest of the brood. Later, an author, Alan Churchill, wrote about Dorothy that she was, quote, a quiet-looking, sturdy girl with a healthy complexion. She had brown hair done up in a high pompadour and steely blue-gray eyes.
Cool.
Sounds rad.
How are you quiet looking?
I don't really
Do
know.
I look loud?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You look quiet.
Yeah, so maybe there's that.
All right.
That could be it. Yeah, and there's a lot of artist renderings of Dorothy. There's photos of her, and she was, like, beautiful.
Time to
And
Goog.
she looked fancy as fuck.
Well, she literally had no choice but to look fancy as fuck.
She loved a huge hat. She loved one.
I think, like, the bigger the hat, the richer you are.
There you go. Now, Dorothy was not the Paris Hilton kind of socialite, in case you were wondering.
Damn it.
She was very interested in maintaining kind of a low-key, studious way about her. She actually attended Bryn Mawr College, which I didn't know a ton about, but it is one of the 7 sisters. What is that, you ask?
I do.
Yeah. Well, the 7 sisters were 7 historically women colleges that were seen as sister colleges to the Ivy League schools.
Oh, that's cool.
So they are equally prestigious and highly selective, but they're just all women's schools. Now, the other 6 on this list are Mount Holyoke, Vassar, Wellesley, Smith, Radcliffe, and Barnard College.
I've heard of a lot of those.
So she went to a good-ass school.
Yeah,
She had money, but she ended up with a degree in literature in 1905, and her love of writing and reading took flight.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Right?
Oh my God. I wish like every single time I shopped anywhere, I could just hand my card to the cashier and it would go chung chung. Like that sound. I love that sound. It is the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses. So upstarts, startups, and established businesses all alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. Shopify powers millions of businesses from first sale to full scale. It reaches customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. You can synchronize your online and in-person sales, gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. It really is more than a store. Shopify grows with you. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com/morbid, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial to get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/morbid right now. Shopify.com/morbid.
While away at Bryn Mawr in Pennsylvania, Dorothy also met a man.
Ooh.
Even though it's an all-girl college, she met him outside of the halls.
Yeah.
His name was George C. Griscom, Jr., and he was not a student. He was a 42-year-old engineer.
Hot.
He lived with his family in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He asked people to call him Junior. This relationship was one of those, I'm just going to move past that. This relationship was one of those forbidden lovers situations.
Yeah, because he had a job where he worked with his hands.
Yeah, and he also was 42 and she was 25.
So there's that.
She kept this from her family because he did come from like a pretty wealthy family. Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't like, but they were not into the 42-year-old thing. They didn't like what his job was. They didn't like any of it. Mm. So they would not approve of his age difference, him living with his parents. As far as they knew, she had no romantic attachments.
Okay.
Much to their dismay. Because after all, that was the one thing she was supposed to do at this time. She was supposed to find a wealthy, well-connected husband to maintain this family's fucking societal value.
And bloodline.
Yeah, she was supposed to go to school and get her MRS. That's what she was supposed to do.
I was like, MR. And then I was like, oh, Mrs.
Of course, this was not her chosen path. She had received a degree in literature and language, and she intended to use it to become a writer.
Hell yeah.
After college, she was still living with her parents, and at the time, Mumsy and Daddy were not too thrilled about their baby girl wanting to be a filthy, dirty writer. They very much discouraged that kind of heathenist activity. Like, what are you thinking?
What?
Putting pen to paper, you filthy animal?
What the fuck?
So she began to do things in secret. Because if mom and dada say no, just do it anyways.
Mother and
rebel,
papa.
Girl. She wrote and she wrote and she wrote, and she continued to see and speak to George in secret.
This is like Little Women vibes.
It is.
Or no. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Exactly. You're like, no. Yes.
I was like, did I get that name right?
No, you totally did.
I did.
Sometime in the spring of 1910, she finally felt ready to submit a story that she had written to McClure's magazine for publication. Now, McClure's is actually a magazine that is credited a lot of times with the beginning of muckraking journalism, which is to say that it had a lot of thorough, very heavily researched investigative looks into hard-hitting journalistic ideas like corruption, corporate abuse in government and otherwise. It was really respected. But in 1906, the magazine ended up switching directions to be a little more literary focused and this was because a big group of investigative journalists that were working there were actually they were running the whole thing, but they ended up leaving to start their own publications. So they hired Willa Cather as the editor, and she took it in that like literary direction. So there was like poems and short stories.
Totally switching gears.
Very much so. But this would be the type of publication it was when Dorothy submitted her story to it. Which makes sense because she was focused on literature at the time and not investigative journalism. Now, unfortunately, her story was quickly rejected.
Oh.
Which hit Dorothy hard.
Yeah, because she had, like, built up the courage and worked on it for a while.
It takes a lot to put your writing out in the world. When it's rejected, it's rough.
Yeah.
Now, even worse, her family found out, and instead of comforting her or inspiring her to keep working for her dreams, they literally taunted her about it. They straight up bullied her for failing.
Fuck them.
Like, constantly. But she was like, fuck you guys. And instead of folding, she set up a fucking P.O. box and used that address to submit more stuff and to communicate with editors and publishers like a boss.
Hell yeah.
Now, again, unfortunately, she submitted a second story to McClure's shortly after, and they rejected this one as well.
Oh, man.
This was hard, as it would be for anyone who is falling short in something they care about. Now, in September of not 2000.
I was like,
we're just skipping way ahead. In September of 1910, her father found out that she had pawned quite a bit of jewelry. I guess the family was on a little vacation together in Maine. And at one point, he had found out that it had happened during that vacation when she had left on her own for a little while. And he was confused about this because he was like, you have like the family's account that you could just use. Like, she would buy things with just their account.
Yeah.
So he confronted her about it and was like, what's this about? So she finally admitted that when she was on that little vacation with them in Maine, she had actually told them that she had asked them, really, do you guys mind if I spend a few days in Cambridge with some friends from Bryn Mawr? Mm-hmm. And her parents were like, absolutely.
She was not hanging out with friends
She was actually
from Bryn Mawr.
In Pennsylvania in a hotel for almost a week with George Griscom.
With Junior!
The family lost their shit and told her she was forbidden from ever seeing him again.
Oh, so this is how they found out about him?
Yeah, so this is when they were like, oh, no.
Do you know how they found out?
They found out because I think she ended up spending something where she was, and it tipped them off to... And eventually the pawnbroker actually talks, too, and kind of, like, lets out her shit, which is, like, not cool. So in October, the next month, she told her parents, you know what? I'm 25. I really want to strike out on my own. I want to move to Greenwich Village to try to find a more suitable environment to hone my writing skills. I think it's like a creative place. I want to be by myself. I need some time to do this.
Yeah.
And her father said, absolutely not. And he said, quote, a good writer can write anywhere. Basically being like, you're not a good writer if you can't write here.
That's annoying. I'd be like, well, you guys are like harshing my vibe a little bit.
Yeah, you're harshing my mellow, man.
And people do need like a
you need
good
an environment.
Space.
And you know what? A good writer can't write anywhere.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, that shit is hard. Coming from that, you know what? That's somebody who has never written a fucking word in their life being like, a good writer can write anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Get fucked, dude. Try sitting down in the middle of chaos and writing, like, something. Yeah. Anything.
Like, worth reading.
She deserved to have a place to write. So as she secretly continued her romance with George Jr. there and continued writing, she was outwardly projecting that socialite life. She was a lady who lunched and shopped and attended cotillions and did things to find a husband, quote unquote.
Do you, just like in your research of her, do you think that she enjoyed this?
Here's the thing. I think she probably liked part of it. It doesn't... To me, nothing in the research said that she was not enjoying cotillions. She wasn't enjoying shopping and planning parties and all that. Like, she seemed to like all that. She just also wanted her own thing. Like, she wanted to write and she loved to read. And I think she just wanted to have that, like, little bit of independence away from the socialite label.
She wanted to be multifaceted.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Want her to be.
She wanted to be like a diamond and be multifaceted. She didn't want to just be a socialite.
Yeah.
She liked it. She just didn't want it to be all she was.
There was more to her.
Exactly. So this brings us to December 12th, 1910, the day she vanished into thin air. We already mentioned how she was out on Fifth Avenue searching for an evening gown for her sister's upcoming debutante ball. She rejected her mother's offer to join her because, again, her mother was often ill. She also had with her $25 to $30, which I know we're like, okay, get it, girl. But at the time, that's the equivalent now in spending power now to about $900.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she had a lot of fucking money with her.
Going to Nordstrom Rack over there, baby.
But again, she was a fancy... Did I say that weird?
No, I'm laughing at myself because I was like, going to Nordstrom Rack, baby. Meanwhile, that's like the cheap version
like the
of
outlet.
Nordstrom.
And you're like, fuck yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, that's where I
let's go nuts.
That's where I go and I'm like, ooh, we're going crazy today.
Look at me,
Not
fancy.
even the real Nordstrom's.
I love that. Well, she was a fancy socialite, and she was buying an evening gown, which was not going to be off the rack. That's funny. I literally wrote that in my notes.
Whoa.
And she was going to lunch and running some errands like she did. So it's not crazy that, it had to be on her at the time. But it could also be a motive for someone to snatch her.
Yeah, because that was in cashish.
Yeah, that's in cash. It's, So after getting, going gown shopping, she stopped to get the chocolates, bought the book, and then spoke with Gladys King outside that bookstore. King, again, said she was totally normal. Everything was fine. She goes off into Central Park, or she says she's going to go to Central Park. Never seen again. Now, she was last seen wearing, according to the Disappearance of Dorothy Arnold, a well-tailored suit with a blue serge coat and a tight hobble skirt in a matching color. She carried both a huge silver fox muff and a satin handbag, and by far the most conspicuous feature of her attire was her hat. It was made of black velvet with 2 blue roses for decoration, a type then called a baker, which resembles nothing so much as an overturned dishpan. The lining of this oversized hat was Alice blue. The maker's name was Genevieve, and along its edge, rimming Dorothy's pleasant, open face, ran a fetching bit of scalloped lace. Or scalloped, I should have said. I said scalloped, weirdly.
Gorge.
She looked fancy as fuck.
She was.
And I'll try to post the photo when we post the photos for this. There's an artist rendering of her in what she wore that day, and it is exactly how you're picturing. It's the most fancy thing I've ever seen.
I'm excited. I'm like feeling like Stevie Nicks vibes from the hat, though.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
you said like black velvet, though?
Yeah, but it's like a fancy, like, Victorian hat kind of thing. So she was definitely not a background player that day, but a main character on Fifth Avenue. And remember, she went missing in New York City in broad daylight off Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there again.
Wild.
Now, we talked earlier about how her family was weirded out that she didn't return or call for dinner, but they just ate anyways and then started calling friends of hers, asking around, but saying don't tell anyone. So they wanted her disappearance at this moment to be a secret. Mm-hmm. And then there's that whole weird ass, like the mom saying she's home and saying she had a headache and she can't talk right now. Like, what the fuck was that about? You were going to have to answer to that at some point, but they didn't.
The weird thing. Is this the picture that you're talking about?
No, there's another picture, actually. So now the night goes on with no sign of Dorothy, but with some of her friends now thinking she's home. Remember?
Yeah,
because they're talking to each other, so they're all like, cool, she's home. Now, the next morning, you would think the police would be called when Dorothy still hadn't shown up at home, right?
You would think that they would have been called when she didn't get home that night.
Well, no. So the family instead called a family friend who was a lawyer.
They called a lawyer?
Yep. His name was John S. Keith, and he was a junior partner in a law firm. He was asked to come that morning to the house. So John Keith started an investigation?
Question mark?
He searched her room. He searched through her things. He searched all over the city. He went to morgues and hospitals and all kind of places. He talked to a bunch of people. He did a full-blown investigation. I don't know. He did find out through speaking to her friends that George, her boyfriend, was away in Italy. And he
was still her boyfriend, even though the family had forbid her from seeing him.
She was still seeing him. She was like, get fucked.
Okay, love it.
But he was in Italy. And he had been since November.
All right, so there goes that.
So he was not a great suspect, unless he had someone do it, is what they were thinking.
Okay.
Now, either way, the family soon figured they could use maybe some actual detective help, but... And you know, at this point, you're like, you called the police, right?
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, they definitely didn't.
No, they called the Pinkerton Detective Agency, and that's when they had a private investigator start investigating this case. Because the Arnolds, again, were worried that this whole their child being missing thing was going to make them look bad. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
They were going to, anger the social register or something? I'm not really sure.
I feel like the social register would have just been like, okay, let's figure this out together, y'all.
Yeah, well, I feel like the social register would be like, what? Your kid's missing? That literally has nothing to do with your social standing. Like, what? Right. How is that relevant to us? Now, the Pinkerton detectives went through her belongings as well, and they found a ton of letters between her and George that she had kept secret. Ooh. They also found some burned up pamphlets for European cruises in Dorothy's room. So they ended up checking all ship registers and having an alert go to certain secretive people overseas with her description, but nothing was ever found. They even spoke to George in Italy, and he was like, I know absolutely nothing about this. He was like devastated.
Oh.
So 6 weeks went by, and the Pinkertons got no closer to finding Dorothy, and it still had not been publicly announced.
Wow.
And not reported to the police.
Is the social register like, hey, where did your kid go?
Apparently not.
Okay.
So January 16th, 1911, Dorothy's mother and her brother Jack went to Italy secretly together to confront George.
Okay.
Because by now they were convinced he somehow knew where she was. Mary was literally described later as, quote, a heavily veiled woman because she was going that far to conceal her identity over there.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was honestly so upset. He denied knowing where she was. And during this whole confrontation, Jack ended up punching him in the face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Later, they said that he seemed genuinely upset about her disappearance and kept telling them that he loved her and that they were in love and he would never hurt her.
It's like, at what point did you decide to punch him in the face?
He also shared during this conversation that he was actually worried because she was so broken up over the literary rejections. He produced a letter from her which had her saying, quote, well, it has come back. McClure's has turned me down. All I can see ahead is a long road with no turning. Mother will always think an accident has happened.
Oh.
And he was concerned over that last part.
Yeah.
Because he felt it indicated she was potentially feeling depressed and contemplating hurting herself. So now, it was finally time to go to the NYPD. Like, maybe
Pastime.
we're ready to get some detectives involved. So they immediately began an investigation. And there's reports, too, that during this entire thing, this is just like so weird, this entire thing. So there's reports that during this whole 6-week period, when the Pinkerton detectives were looking, there was like what they called circulars going around, like the flyers with her face on it and all the information. So it was like getting around,
Right.
but like weird in an underground way. And also that like those circulars would have come across the face of an NYPD officer at some point.
Yeah.
They would have seen one, but that they wouldn't get involved unless they were asked.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? Like, this is the most bizarre shit I've ever heard.
a weird time.
So they finally, the NYPD immediately began an investigation, and now it's really public.
Because they were asked.
So now, even though she went missing in early December, on January 25th was when everyone discovered this publicly.
It's like almost a month and a half later.
A press conference was held at Francis's office where he said his family was offering $1,000 for any information leading to Dorothy's return.
Do we have a...
I actually didn't do one for that. I meant to, though.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Of course.
He also expressed publicly that he actually believed his daughter was abducted or murdered.
Whoa.
He said he figured the whole thing had occurred when she was walking through Central Park.
Yeah.
And his initial belief was that she was somehow attacked and that her body was thrown in the reservoir.
Okay.
And he said that he thought that whole thing, that she had taken the lonely walk along the reservoir. And then he said there, because of the laxity of police supervision over the park, I believe it quite possible that she might have been murdered by garroters or garroters and her body thrown into the lake or the reservoir. Such atrocious things do happen, though there seems to be no justification for them.
Okay, true.
And it's like, okay, that could have happened for sure.
Yeah.
That's really sad, though.
Central Park is a wild place.
And I'm sure it always was.
Yep.
Now, they began asking him whether she was sheltered and kept, like, they were like, you know, she seems very naive the way you're talking about her. And, like, was she very sheltered? Did you kind of keep her under lock and key? Like, some reports are saying he didn't want her dating certain people. And he said, quote, I would have been glad to see her associate more with young men than she did, especially some young men of brains and position, one whose profession or business would keep him occupied. I don't approve of young men who have nothing to do.
Okay.
Which I'm like, I get it, bro.
Yeah, that's
I don't
like...
approve of young men that have nothing to do, to be honest.
That's a dad being a dad.
Yeah, he's just being a dad. So the media in the city went nuts about this case.
Because they're like, hey, guess what? Someone's been missing for long
literally
ass
6
time.
weeks. So her photo and artist renderings were everywhere, descriptions of her, what she was wearing that day. Sightings came in by the dozens, but none of them panned out. None of them were credible. Everyone was hooked on this tale of a beautiful young heiress who disappeared in broad fucking daylight on Fifth Avenue.
It's very strange. Yes, scented candles, soothing spa music, a warm but not hot cup of green tea, and a fresh pair of comfy undies. These are like all important aspects of practicing self-care. Maybe your mind doesn't automatically leap into thinking of underwear as self-care, but it really should. After all, undies are the first thing you reach for in the morning, so they literally set the tone for the rest of your entire day. Lean into loving yourself with free-to-join MeUndies membership and receive a fresh new pair of undies delivered right to your door each month, hassle-free. Okay, let's get into it. I bleepin' love MeUndies. They are the softest underwear humanly possibly able to put on your body. That sentence structure made sense. Leave me alone. I love MeUndies so much. I got a delivery of MeUndies, and it's not only just undies. There's undies and there's also sports bras, and I got 2 pairs of underwear that are like super duper cute and 2 sports bras, and they're like matching sets, which automatically just makes me feel like a rich bitch. And I just run around the house in my MeUndies and my matching sports bra sets, and I am comfortable, I am cute, and I am thriving. Sometimes I feel like it really can feel challenging to take care of yourself in the way that you deserve, which is why the MeUndies membership was designed to make your life easier. With free shipping and returns on every order, savings on virtually everything they make, exclusive sales, and early access to their newest stuff, it is the ultimate way to ensure that you start off every day in total comfy bliss. This is my favorite thing, the size inclusivity. It is available in sizes XS to 4XL, with new prints dropping monthly. There's always something to try, so get super soft undies, bralettes, or socks shipped right to your door and live a more comfortable life. Thanks, self. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. And for a limited time, if you sign up for their free-to-join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. To get 25% off your first membership item or 15% off your first order and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/morbid. That is MeUndies.com/morbid. I love being comfortable. When you are on the hunt for a new wine, you got 2 options. You can wander around your local grocery store or wine mart, just like picking bottles at random and just feeling like you're so confused. Or you can get personalized wines that you will love delivered right to your door. I feel like the latter option is absolutely the best. And you could do so at a fraction of the cost. If you love the excitement of discovering new wines but hate the risk of disappointment, much like myself, FirstLeaf Wine Club is a no-brainer. FirstLeaf is a wine club that curates and ships wines that are personalized to your tastes, allowing you to discover wines from 5 continents and 12 countries. You're like well-traveled without even traveling. When you rate the wine that you receive, FirstLeaf learns more about your palate. So not only are you being introduced to a ton of wine, but each FirstLeaf box gets better. I have been using FirstLeaf for like probably 3 years at this point. They've been a sponsor for a while, and I love that about them. Thank you. But truly, every box gets better. I only really drink red wine. I'm just like so fancy and classy like that. And they send me the most decadent box of red wine every single time. And I'm like, I don't know about next time. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it as good as they did it this time. And every freaking time they do. Anyways, less about me, more about this. Here's a fun little not so secret about FirstLeaf. They work directly with winemakers, which means you get incredible wine 60% off of retail. And FirstLeaf is so confident that you'll love the wine, they also have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you receive a bottle that isn't exactly what you were hoping for, FirstLeaf will credit your account. Guys, I'm telling you, this wine subscription is the best thing that I've ever done in my life. It's another form of self-care. I love just walking to my door and realizing that I have 6 bottles of wine to try. And then I honestly love inviting people over and sharing the wine with them. And I came up with this idea like a couple years ago, and I actually did it. Have your friends over for like a little wine tasting, and you can actually set up your own freaking wine tasting without even having to go anywhere. How freaking great is that? If you love finding and tasting new wine, FirstLeaf is a no-brainer. Join today and you'll get 6 bottles of wine for $29.95 and free shipping. Just go to tryfirstleaf.com/morbid. That is 6 bottles of wine for $29.95 and free shipping at tryfirstleaf.com/morbid.
The way way the Washington Post said it on the day that it was announced was Dorothy H.C. Arnold, a graduate of Bryn Mawr College in the class of 1905 and a daughter of Francis R. Arnold, an importer of perfumes, left her home on the forenoon of December 13th last to buy an evening gown. She has not been heard from since, although Deputy Police Commissioner Flynn's best men and private detectives have been following up every possible clue. Every precaution has been taken to keep Miss Arnold's disappearance secret up to tonight. Although Mr. Arnold was advised some time ago that if it were made public to the newspapers, there was a possibility that avenues would be reached which have not yet been covered. Mr. Arnold at last consented to give the facts to the newspapers tonight. Miss Arnold is a niece of the late Justice Peckham of the United States Supreme Court. Her father, being a brother of Mrs. Peckham, Miss Arnold's aunt Mia Peckham, widow of the justice, is dying at her home in Washington, partly, it is believed, as the result of worry over the strange disappearance of her niece. She is one of four children, and is next to oldest. Her siblings are John W. Arnold. He is 26, and she is 25 years old. Another brother, D. Hinckley, is 20, and her only sister, Marjorie, is 18. She has lived at home since she graduated from Bryn Mawr and has devoted most of her time to reading. Which sounds like Rory Gilmore.
It does.
Now, immediately the NYPD they immediately were like, well, she left voluntarily. Like, this is just her leaving. They cited...
I kind of started to wonder that too, though, because her parents are, like, stifling her a little bit.
They are a little bit. But then there's things that don't make sense with it.
Okay.
Like, we'll see. So first, they cited the fact that she bought a box of chocolates and a book as reason because they said she obviously bought those for some long journey. And she can read her book and she can eat her chocolates.
I don't know.
She's getting on a train.
Journey,
she's getting on a ship.
She might just be vibing.
But the family and friends struck back saying it made no sense. And they were kind of right here because that's really the only thing we have to say she left voluntarily because everything in her room was left there. Mm-hmm. She didn't take anything with her that she should have taken on some long thing that she was never planning to come back from.
But could she take it because her family was always home?
Technically, she should have been able to take some of the things, or at least I'll get into one thing because there's certain things that she definitely would have wanted to hide, like those letters, or take with her, or destroy.
And those burned pamphlets.
Why would she leave and let everybody find that shit?
True.
Those letters weren't burned, they were just out.
Yeah.
So it's like she wouldn't have just left those for people to find.
Right.
Now, family and friends said no way. And they said one of the things, she was happy. Like, even though she was frustrated about the writing, she was a very happy person.
Yeah.
And she had actually very intensely planned a party for December 17th, the day of her sister's debutante ball. During the day on that day, she was going to have 60 women from Bryn Mawr, and they were going to be attending a tea party that she was hosting.
Cute.
She had meticulously planned this party. So why would she do that if she planned to dip before it happened?
Yeah.
She also had her little sister's debutante ball that night, and that was a big deal. And everyone was like, she is not the type of sister that would have cast a shadow over that on purpose.
She doesn't sound like it.
Now, another article in the Washington Post said, quote, she was on jolly terms with so many of her college friends that nobody in the family could imagine her leaving without whispering the secret to at least one or two of them. But she did not communicate with any one of them, and many of the girls have been helping the family in the search. Her room disclosed no evidence of premeditated flight. And here's what she left behind. She left behind most of her jewelry, all the pieces on which she could have attained much money. Of the first set she was fondest of wearing, a muff and stole of Black's Fox, she took only the muff and left the stole in her wardrobe. And what seemed most important to the family, she neither removed nor attempted to destroy a considerable mass of private correspondence, letters and notes and telegrams. Because if she was ready to just dip, she would have just destroyed all those, or at least taken them with her. She had a P.O. box. She could have stuck them in there and sent them through the mail.
That's true. But do you think at that point she maybe just didn't give a shit because she was going to be disappearing anyway?
But no matter what, she was brought up to give a shit. Whether she didn't give a shit about everything else or not, there is something in that DNA that would have gotten rid of that.
Okay.
She wouldn't have done that because she doesn't hate her family.
No.
There was no indication that she hated her family
Not
or
at all.
hated any of this. She wouldn't have done that to them. I don't think she would have done that to them.
Yeah.
Because she was playing the part for them.
She was.
She was doing all the shit on the low, but she was playing that part for them. And she was doing it willingly. So I think she did care about her family. She cared about her sister. She cared about her parents, even though, like, they didn't always get along.
Yeah.
And I know she was literally raised from birth to care about the social standing of that family. And I think she would, at the very least, have either taken those correspondences with her or gotten rid of them.
Okay.
I just don't think she would have left them to scandalize the family.
Yeah.
Because that's what did scandalize the family, is all the shit coming out.
Right.
I just don't see her doing that. She doesn't seem like that kind of person to me. But maybe I didn't know her. But
You didn't?
I know that's crazy. But so all of this, and by the end of January, the police were like, yeah, she left on her own and she'll come back when she comes back.
And they're just like, we got nothing.
And they were basically like, case closed.
Woof.
Now, then shit got messy.
Oh, yes. I love it.
So the media was still going nuts, and things are starting to leak out now. So now that pawnbroker that she sold the jewelry to secretly go see George on that vacation, he spoke to the press and he revealed everything, the whole lie. Now everyone was scandalized that she was having this secret love affair and lying about it, and that she had pawned jewelry. And now the visit by Mary and John to Italy, the brother and the mom, to Italy to visit George, came out, and it became so fucking convoluted because they started lying about it.
The brother and the mother?
Yeah. They lied several times to the press, and here's what happened. So the Washington Post said, on his return from Europe, John W. Arnold, the brother, was surrounded by newspapermen, and this was on the ship home. Newspapermen suddenly, like, swarmed him.
Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Like, the props were surrounding him
Literally.
back then.
And when they did this, he said that he was actually in Italy for business.
Lies.
And he said that he didn't...
Technically not.
I mean, it is. It's a lie. It's a lie.
He's taking care of business.
That's a lie. And he said that he did not know that his mother had left home.
That's a lie.
He also said, I don't know anything about my sister being missing.
What?
And then the newspaper guys were like,
Yeah, you do.
Well, we've been printing about it for like days now.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, okay. Turns out he hadn't talked to his lawyers yet, so he made that decision himself to just lie about it. And
Why
then
would you just not say anything?
And then he ended up talking to his lawyers after this. And he said that he changed his story this time. And he says, oh, you know what? My father told me that my sister is missing on January 20th.
What?
And then he switched that because he heard that his dad had made announcement.
A different statement.
In a different statement that they knew. And then he switched and said, oh, actually, I heard that she was missing on January 3rd.
Honey, shut your mouth. You gotta quiet down.
So then the lawyer, John Keith there, he said that, so this is what it said in the actual article. It says, lawyer Keith saw that the family had been placed in the position of giving out amazingly contradictory statements of the trip to Europe of John Arnold, that the lawyer decided yesterday to straighten the tangle out. Mr. Keith told the American that John Arnold had given misleading statements because he did not know what had been revealed by lawyers.
I lied because I didn't know what my lawyer said yet.
I lied because I didn't know what my lawyers lied about.
What? Guys, everybody shut up.
So he then went on to tell of Arnold having left the city on January 3rd, which flatly contradicted the assertion of Arnold that he had received word from his father in Europe that day of the disappearance of Miss Dorothy.
Right.
So, in case that was confusing, because I know it is.
It is a little.
He claimed, remember, the last thing he claimed was that he heard that she went missing on January 3rd.
Yes.
But now there's proof that he was on his way. He was already in Europe, and he was already talking to George about this. So he clearly knew. And it says, I developed from what Mr. Keith said that John Arnold, had actually departed from the city with full knowledge of the disappearance of his sister, which of course he did.
Yeah, why
he
else
knew
would he be
about it
going
on December 13th.
Well, why is he going to Italy?
Of course. So Mr. Keith laid stress upon the point that John Arnold, in leaving for Europe, did not have as his purpose the hunting down of Mr. George Griscom Jr., the Pittsburgh man who had been courting Miss Dorothy Arnold. So now the lawyer is like, oh no, he definitely knew about it, but he didn't go to Italy just to talk to him. But he did.
Yeah, like, why? Yeah.
Yeah. So then the lawyer told a reporter, quote, it ought to be made plain that Miss Arnold was not the sort of girl who have what might be called a romance. She was a sensible girl. She had possibly a dozen men who called upon her, but she did not lose her heart to any of them. Okay. So now they're actively trying to push this George Griscom thing away. And it's like, yeah, you guys can lie about it all you want now.
We have letters.
But there's literally letters about it. Like, it's out. Yeah. The cat is out of the bag. And now you guys continuously lying about it is weird as fuck.
It is.
Like, how far were you willing to go to make this not a thing? That's what I want to know.
Well, you trying to make it not a thing is literally only making it
thing
bigger and bigger and bigger.
So her family is trying to push the narrative that she didn't have this lover and she was naive and just concerned with lunching with friends and shopping. They're trying to paint her as like, oh, she's just this lady.
She's just a socialite.
She was not worldly in that way, and she was certainly not doing anything to scandalize herself or the family.
That's like irritating that they were just like, she just like eats and writes
she just
things
eats
down.
And buys shit.
It's like, that's not fair.
But the evidence is piling up here, and now there's reports, that are coming out from that Pong guy of like the whole week with George, and the media is now reporting about the secretive P.O. box because they found that, and the family had no idea that existed. So now that's being like thrust upon their laps. Like, hey, by the way, you guys know so much about her. Did you know that she had a fucking secret P.O. box and that she was communicating on the regular with publishers and like editors and all that? And they were like, nah. Yeah, we totally knew that. Like, we were very much aware.
Liars.
Now, in February, George came back to New York and put out ads, like, spent tons of money putting out ads in all the papers trying to coax Dorothy out if she was alive. He heard absolutely nothing back from them.
Love our boy.
Then 2 different ransom notes came through to the family.
But at this point, it's like everybody knows you're fucking rich. They don't have her.
Each asking for $5,000 for Dorothy's return, but they were found to be fake.
Yeah, of course.
Because even back then, people were still shit, as we saw in the Albert Fish episode. So also in February, the family received a postcard that was postmarked from New York City. And it said in handwriting, "I'm safe," and was signed Dorothy. The family did say, the father said like the handwriting did look similar to Dorothy's, but they said there was handwriting samples out because people had published some of the letters and stuff, so you could see her handwriting. And he thought somebody had just tried to basically copy it.
To be a dick.
So they believe this was a joke as well. And the police now changed their thoughts from her leaving on their own volition and being like very satisfied with just saying she left and she'll come home when she does.
Yeah.
To just her being missing. And they were like, something is weird here. So the New York City Deputy Police Commissioner William Flynn said, quote, "That now seems the only reasonable way of looking at the case. The girl has now been missing for 75 days, and in all that time, not a single clue has been found that was worth the name. We have no evidence that a crime has been committed, and the case is now one of a missing person and nothing more." And that is the end of part 1.
Wow, I did not think you were going to do me that dirty.
Because shit gets even weirder.
So we're doing more than just theories in part 2.
There's more weird shit happening. There's more convoluted stuff. There's definitely theories. Like, people come forward and say all kinds of weird shit. There's a surgeon that comes forward and says some weird shit. It gets wild.
Is there any theory in part 2 that you think is a strong theory?
I honestly...
Like, do you lean toward agreeing or, like, being close to agreeing with any of them?
Right now, no.
No.
But I think maybe I'll be able to get there because I can see myself maybe getting attached to one.
I'm probably digging a little more.
Yeah, I'm going to dig a little more.
Do you have any kind of personal theory that you didn't find in your research?
Honestly, my original theory was that it made sense that she had a ton of money on her at the time and looked super rich and was walking around like that. And
don't you think they would have found a body?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody abducted her, but I don't know where they would have taken her, to be quite honest. And then I was wondering if she had like just taken off to Europe, but at the same time she had nothing with her. And she had spent a lot of the money that she had on her. So it's not like, and she was not using the family's account after this. So it would be the equivalent of now being like she hasn't used her credit cards or her debit cards. And it's like, where is she getting money?
Well, because so she had that $900 on her that day, and did she not use the family's account for the chocolates, the book, or the dress?
She used it. So she used the family's account, I believe, for maybe the book and the chocolates, but not the dress, because she had spent the money on the dress.
Okay.
So then I think she used the family's account on the chocolates and the book. But then it's also like the P.O. box was checked and the mail, like she was very adamant about using that. They were able to tell that even when she went, I think she went to like Washington for a little while to visit friends at one point, and they were able to discover that she had the mail forwarded to a place in Washington while she was there, which means something was coming through there that she couldn't even wait like a week to get.
Right.
Like she had to have it forwarded there so she could get it right away.
And then when they checked the P.O. box when she was, during the time she was missing, everything was like building up and nothing's been forwarded.
And also it's like, what was that thing that was so important that she couldn't wait the week to get it? They were never able to discover what that was.
I wonder if she had submitted a story somewhere.
But it's like, why couldn't you wait a couple of days to find that out? That seems like a lot of trouble to go through, like forwarding your mail for the week.
It does.
That means you can't miss whatever is coming through there. So what the fuck is that?
A ticket?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know what any of this is. My idea is like, it makes the most sense that she disappeared on her own volition, but it also doesn't at all.
Yeah. I think for me so far, I would say that it makes, for me, I feel like she went on her own volition based on what I know.
But like with what? She left all her money she could have pawned at home.
But how much did she spend on the dress? Like, how much did she have left over?
I think she didn't have anything left over after the dress, and that's why or if she did, she didn't have a ton. And it's like, what? And then again, like none of the trains in the area had her. They all looked and said they didn't see anybody like her. They didn't see that description of clothing she was wearing or anything.
Do you think she could have changed at some point and like really dressed down?
That's what I was thinking initially, but when? Like she ran into a friend and she was wearing that outfit?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then it's like...
Could have like gone behind a tree in Central Park and just like...
I don't think in 1910 you could just scoop behind a tree as a New York socialite and
I don't think you can do that now.
Yeah.
That was more of a joke. But,
you're like, I swear.
That was more of like a lol.
And I'm like, I don't think she could.
I was like, yeah,
I'm pretty sure she couldn't.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not fully convinced that she was like abducted.
I'm not either. I'm not convinced either way, to be quite honest.
This is like a stupid argument because people go missing all the time in the middle of the day, but it's just so fucking unbelievable.
I know.
Still, for some reason, that I'm just like, no one saw anything.
Yeah.
Especially with like what she looked like and how she was dressed. No one saw anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what's so weird.
And it was like the middle of the day.
And as we'll see, there's like different things where people say they saw her, or she claimed, like they get correspondence. It gets very weird.
Well, and the other thing is like eyewitness accounts suck anyways, unfortunately.
That's the other thing. And as fancy as she looked, she was wearing the style of other socialites and heiresses in the area. And on Fifth Avenue, it's not
they all
like
looked like that.
Yeah. So it's not like she would have like looked great.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's like main character on Fifth Avenue there, like looking fancy.
Right.
But she's also like of the time and of the social class at the time. Like it makes sense what she was wearing. It's not like it was like, what the fuck is that lady wearing?
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. People don't always realize that physical symptoms like headaches, teeth grinding, even digestive issues can be indicators of stress. And let's not forget about doom scrolling, sleeping too little, sleeping too much, undereating, and overeating. Personally, I know that I am an overeater in times of stress. When I'm like super stressed out about like family or life stuff, I'm just sitting in front of my kitchen, snacking, and then I'm like, whoa, I gained a pound or two, man. And then that just makes me more stressed. Stress shows up in all kinds of different ways, and in a world that's telling you to do more, sleep less, grind all the time, here's your reminder to take care of yourself, do less, and maybe even try some therapy. I started therapy, I think going on 3 years ago, I would say, yeah. Yep, just calculated that in my brain 3 years ago. And I feel like the past 3 years have just been some of the best years that I've honestly had, because I've learned different coping mechanisms to get through the hard crap in my life. Having somebody to talk to that, like I've said it before, doesn't have a horse in the race, like, and can just sit there and give you advice, it really helps. It truly does. And BetterHelp does just that. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anybody on camera if you don't want to. It is much more affordable than in-person therapy. Give it a try and see if online therapy can help lower your stress. Morbid listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/morbid. That's BetterHelp.com/morbid.
It's just, there's a lot of weird shit. And then again, to not, I mean, people do this, so I guess it could happen. She didn't tell anyone. Like, not one person knew. And it's like, who's she with? Is she by herself?
Some people are really good at secrets.
Secrets are no fun.
Secrets hurt your whole social standing.
Yeah. But it's like, and George. It seemed to me like she loved George.
Well, that is one thing for me that I'm like,
yeah.
But do you think
and
that
he
George
came back to New York?
Do you think he was possibly lying for her?
But why would he loved her too. Lying for her to leave him and go away? I feel like he'd be devastated.
Well, I meant like were they together secretly somehow?
But he came back to New York.
Oh, do you think that was all?
And he was like around. Well, no, he was around. Where the fuck did she go?
For a long time.
Yeah, like he was like, you know, doing his thing there. Like you couldn't hide her away. It's like,
I don't know.
And again, she was into like planning parties. She was into the cotillions and all that. Like she just ceased
maybe
doing that.
You said she was a meticulous planner.
Yeah.
Gone Girl. She planned every last detail.
I don't know.
Even Gone Girl got found though. Well, actually, I think she gave herself up, but
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna dive even deeper in for season 2.
Season 2,
part 2, season 2 of this one case.
I was like, wow.
No, I'm not gonna go that far. But I'm gonna go like as far as humanly possible for this one and see if I can attach myself to any of these theories really hard, because I want to. But it is truly, it's known as one of the biggest
missing persons
mysteries in New York City missing person history. I mean, it's like one of those things that no one can figure it out.
Crazy.
There's no one like who's like, this is what happened to her.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, I have no idea.
Because she just vanished without a trace.
Well, literally without a trace, because they also searched Central Park and they found no sign of her. Like no sign that, not that, I don't know what you would find that she had been there, but they were like, no sign that she had been there. I'm like, well, she wasn't like dropping shit along the way. Like, she didn't like normally just drop shit as she went.
She's like leaving the chocolate wrappers.
I guess no one had seen her that was in the park that day or whatever.
Well, and then the other thing though is like, you figure if somebody like abducts her, do they not want ransom?
Yeah. But like, then, what's the motive there? Just to take the money on her?
Take the money on her, or sometimes just murder.
Just to hurt somebody. I mean, we know that for sure.
Man, I'm fucking stumped.
Right? It's just that none of it makes sense. Every avenue you can go down with this, you're like, yeah, that could absolutely be it. And then you're like, no, but what about this one thing?
Right.
But who knows? I guess we're going to we'll try to solve this. Let's try to solve this shit.
Let's try.
This like, century-old like abduction / missing persons case.
Yeah.
Well, we'll solve it.
We'll do it.
We'll do
our best.
Part 2 will conclude with me solving this.
Part 2. Hey, I'm gonna solve it too, man.
Yeah. Love it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And I love you, and I hope that you keep listening. I was talking to them.
Wow.
Do I make this weird?
Wow. Wow.
You know I love you too. Really weird. So anyways, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
But not so weird that you tell your sister you love her.
Gross.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. One thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. For decades, Angie's helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.